That's good radio.
Guess we should start a podcast.
Yeah. Let's see. Can you see me now?
No.
Oh, yeah.
That's a little better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty dark in here. I don't know what the deal. I guess I could take my lampshade off. Studio production. We got you the sailboat picture.
Lisa.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Yeah, I would have been here sooner, but I was trying to plug things into this outlet behind me and had these like little protective things, for children. Impossible to get off.
They're just protective things for everyone.
Yeah, I know. You will
I can't
never
ever get those things off.
ever again if you use these things. I don't know who makes them. If you want to sponsor us, that's cool. We'll talk better about you. But this one didn't have a groove, so I didn't know what I was going to do, but it's fine. I used my teeth.
Got a pair of vice grips and like a blowtorch.
Yeah.
Just melt it off.
I lost a tooth, but it's okay. I was going to wear a fancy hat, but then I decided against it.
How fancy?
It was not really that fancy. So.
Well,
it's one of those hats that if you wore it around a horse, they'd eat it.
What, like straw?
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it's called.
Or a meat hat.
Yeah. Just made of the top sirloin.
Yep.
So, cool.
I guess they eat oats, though, right?
Yeah. I think, yeah. Well,
they
eat hay too?
But do they eat meat? Do horses eat meat?
Horses eat meat? I guess they could, but I don't think so. I think it's like.
Actually, you know what? I think I saw a horse eat a bird one time on a video on the internet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just like a live bird.
Like a rabbit horse?
No, it was just like a horse. It was like, I'm a horse. And then it goes, and it just ate the bird.
Was the bird sitting there or flew by?
Yeah, it was just sitting there. I mean, it was like hopping around on the ground, and then the horse just goes chomp.
Sounds like the bird had it coming.
And I was like, man, nature.
Yeah.
You crazy.
Yeah. Nature.
Red alert! All hands to battle stations. Welcome to the Interrupting Podcast.
I know Kung Fu.
My skull's on fire, but I'm good.
And now, here are Blindy and the Beard.
The Interrupting Podcast is recorded in front of a live studio audience. Well, first, obviously, we should talk about the whole George Floyd situation just for a second. We posted something last week, and we didn't want, obviously, anybody. There was basically podcasts were all taking a break last week, or a good portion of them, right? Like it was.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of folks were kind of. It was just a way to kind of protest to get everyone to focus on the situation at hand, which was, Michael Floyd was, George Floyd was murdered by a police officer or a group of police officers And we wanted to focus on that. We stand with protesters. We stand with Black Lives Matter. We get that there's unrest in our country, that there's a ton of injustice, and we know that God dislikes injustice very much. And so we're definitely standing up for those that have been affected, by not only George Floyd, but all the other times that this has happened. And it's definitely an alarming pattern in our country, specifically with this kind of stuff, where people are, whether it's falsely imprisoned, or they're just judged by their skin color, or use of force is like way overboard, and things like this happen where someone dies, and so we wanted to take a break, and we wanted to stand with those that were fighting against this injustice, and hopefully a voice will be heard out of this. That's like our biggest hope, like that the government listens, that police reform happens, and that we can get in a better direction together as a country and under God. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
There's a lot of interesting stuff that's already happened. They took cops off TV. A&E took off their police, like
Live
live
PD?
cops or whatever.
That Live PD show.
Yeah, they took
I
that.
liked that
That's a newer show.
Yeah,
And I mean, I get
probably
it.
got 6 seasons, maybe. I don't know. It was a newer show, but today those shows aren't productive. They're not unifying anybody. So
Yeah, I think one thing that we can really say, one thing that I can say is that I really want people to know that just because something doesn't happen to you doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
right.
And I think that's what a lot of people are forgetting right now, is that if especially with coronavirus and COVID-19, it's people tend to forget that just because it's not affecting you personally means that it doesn't happen. And
Right.
we just have to be empathetic towards other people who have clearly been dealing with a lot over the course of history, especially in the past 400 years or so.
Yeah, and I shared a quote today that I read in a devotional this morning, the Upper Room, that I just thought was awesome, in reference to being Christ-like. It's not our job to judge, but it is our job to care. And that hit me really hard, that, like, it is our job to care for the downtrodden, for injustice. Like, we need to stand up and fight. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, our country was designed so people would have a voice, to protest, to demand change, to demand accountability from elected officials. And so that's what's happening right now. Like, people are fighting back, and so and I get it. And I think Pastor Jeff said it, where he said, like, we don't need to just be just stand up and be like, hey, I'm for you guys. Like, we need to also understand why people are upset. And that goes along with what you're saying. Like, we just need to care, and like be empathetic, and say, okay, like, maybe if I don't agree, that's fine, but I should still care.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on other news, lighter news, we started a business, which was kind of, yeah.
Did we?
Yeah, we did. It's kind of crazy, because it was like, COVID-19, and for any small businesses out there that have, like, just crumbled under COVID-19, I'm so sorry. It's a horrible thing. A lot of folks have gone out of business, and it's a major bummer. But those that are hanging on, keep on keeping on, and well done. But yeah, like, we started one. Luckily, we weren't affected by COVID-19, because ours is like crazy blessings from God, and we don't even know how to describe it. Like, so we're luckily doing something that we don't have to dig out of our pockets really deep for, and we didn't have to put houses up, for second mortgages and things like that. So we've really been blessed in that way. So
you didn't take out a second mortgage? Was I not supposed to do that?
I didn't. Nope. Oh, well, if you did, thanks, because get a lot of equipment. But we have this awesome person at church that we'll give a shout out, Mr. Glenn Rutherford and his awesome wife, Charlotte Rutherford, and their son, Rivers. And they have, they built this studio. It's just something they were kind of toying around with. And we were able to, I do tech work for Mr. Glenn, and we were able to kind of get in this studio and do some stuff. And Glenn has been, he's pretty much like, he's providing this awesome facility for us to use, and to not only podcast, but to get bands in there to record and do other things. So, one of the things we'd been talking about when we started Interrupting Podcast was that we wanted this to go bigger. Like, we wanted to kind of have
go big or go home.
Exactly. Me and Travis are like the beard are super ADD. And so like we needed a business that didn't like cram us into one thing. So, because we're always like texting, we're like, hey, we should do blah, blah, blah. And so we're like, yeah, write that down. So, some of it will make sense and others will not. Like, we'll just,
hey, let's run a llama circus.
Yeah, exactly. We should. That would be fun.
That's yeah. I mean,
can llamas be trained?
I'm sure they can.
Yeah.
They probably can only be trained to spit on specific people.
That's still
like, hey, he talked bad about my mom. Go spit on him. And llama's like,
that'd be awesome. I want a llama circus now. But that's why we added our wives. We have 4 co-founders of Blind Beard Enterprises. That's what the business is called, LLC.
I'll give you. I'll let anybody guess why it's named that.
Yeah, I'm blind and he has the beard. So like our brand is your beard.
Yeah, that means I can't shave ever. Well, you can't get the robot eyes.
Yeah, jeez,
you have to be blind forever.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm committed.
The only thing you can do is get more blind.
Well, unless I did like our logo, in the eye, maybe that could work. Or I could get like, I don't know, maybe just the ones with like the white eyes with the pupil, I don't know. That could be kind of neat. Or just like fully just white, and then people would be like, oh, he's blind. But I can do it well. So, yeah, but
you got to get one of the feeling sticks. I'm sure they have a name. I'm just not smart enough to know what that is.
I don't know what they're called. Huh. You see those all the time, but I don't know what they're called. With the little, the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neat.
So
we added our wives into our business as well, and not really added them. Like, they are co-founders. They're on equal footing with me and Travis, which is really good because, again, we're like super ADD, and they're like, no, we can't do this. So focus right here, and here's what you're going to do. So Travis's wife, Tommy, is basically our manager. She wrangles the cats, and and so Natalie does marketing, which is good because I think you and I need as little, we don't need to be talking to the public much.
That's probably true.
We need to just be
at least not in person.
Yeah. We're the type that our business will go bankrupt on like one encounter from we would lose like any support that the wives have gained for us. So but yeah, Nat's going to be handling our social media and marketing stuff. Aside from the shark post that I posted today, I apologize to her about that, but I had to post that one because it was really funny. Go check that out on Interrupting Podcast at Facebook and on Instagram. It's very funny. It's a shark. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Yes, there's a shark involved.
There's a shark involved.
Is that like www.creedthoughts.gov?
We're going to get sued. Hey, is that Creed Bratton?
Creed Bratton, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Go Creed. I wonder if we could get him on the show. I bet we could. It can't be hard to get. He is actually named Creed Bratton. Like, it can't be that hard to get him on the show. We're going to have Natalie. Let me write that down for Natalie.
We certainly can find some D-list celebrities.
We're gonna have Creed Bratton on the show. So, and if we don't, it's our marketing manager's fault.
Wow.
So, but anyway, yeah, this this business is a lot. Okay, so at first, our first business meeting, it was kind of funny because we were like, so what do we do? Like, it's like, well, we'd already paid for the business license, so we had to figure out something to do at this point.
Again, the ADD came in.
ADD, we're like, so we're here. What do we do now? But our goal is to be, podcasting network. To the studio that we're able to work out of is Amber Recording Studios, and so we've been able to. Mr. Glenn gave us the keys to that, and he's letting us run it for him and manage it, and so we're doing our best there to honor him and what he's given us, and so we've got a lot of goals that are really far out there, but one of the things we thought about is just having a podcast network. I'm thinking especially a lot of like family friendly content, stuff that's funny that you can actually listen to with anybody, rather than having to worry about what somebody's going to say, because it's like the last thing I want anybody to worry about. So hopefully get some people under that. We've got some ideas of folks that we're reaching out to and stuff. Of course, lockdown is we're kind of stuck right now, but we'd like to be kind of one-stop shop for podcasting, and be able to produce people's shows, to edit them, to help them market and host and do all that stuff. So we're going to be rolling that out over time as the wives, which is good. The quality checkers and the realists of the business tell us it's okay to. So, they're still trying to get us down to 30-minute shows.
All right, we got 4 minutes.
Yeah, what supposed to do, man?
30 minutes isn't long enough for me to get rolling.
Yeah, exactly. That's like,
it's like telling a joke without a punchline.
Exactly, which we do a lot. So that's another thing we offer here at Blindbeard Enterprises LLC.
Is just setups. That's it.
Yeah,
no punchlines, just setups.
So if you want to email in, do we have an email? I don't even
know. We do.
What is it?
I believe it's contact@interruptingpodcast.com.
We're not sure if we have an email or not, but yeah, email that, because if you have a better idea for our business, yeah, we'll do that. So
yeah,
we're not really
tell us what to do.
We're not really sold one way or the other. I'm kidding. But yeah, if there are things that you guys think about, one that you'd like us to talk about on the show or to do, if you want more Bubbles, Bubbles has been out of rotation here for 2 shows now. So if you want more Bubbles, let us know.
Bubbles.
She would love to come on the show, but she's going to wait till we're back in the studio and things like that. I guess her interwebs are not very interwebby. So
yeah, I guess that kind of pays to kind of work from home on the internet. That's my job, is basically building a website. So I'm always kind of involved with technology. So anytime any quicker internet speed comes out that I can afford, I'm like, I gotta get that.
Yeah.
So
which you did. You got like a really
did.
fast internet package. And then I got super jealous like the day after you told me you had the package, so I got it. So we're zooming here. But I think old Bubbles, Kelsey there is on she's on dial-up or something. I think she's got like a 56K modem.
Oh man.
Which is really fast for a modem, but it's like the highest top. Dude, do you remember when that was like awesome? I remember buying a 56K modem and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be speeding through the internet with this thing. And
yeah, that was like the first internet I used was dial-up, and it's like,
yeah.
I've used AOL too, where it has a little guy flying across the screen.
Welcome.
For like 20 minutes, and then it's like, all right, you're on, and then somebody picks the phone up and it goes dead.
That was the best part.
Do it again.
Yeah, man. Back in the day, you had chat rooms. Everything was in. But of course, I was one of the cool kids that I'd like get on AOL, and then I'd minimize it, and I would open up AIM.
Yeah.
Well, instant messenger, and I would exclusively use that, because that was really cool, because that was the only way to get to the internet then.
Yeah.
I don't know.
AOL Instant Messenger. That was a really interesting time when everybody was on AIM, and I think I had like 42
Yeah.
AOL Instant Messenger names.
Yeah.
Just because that was the cool thing to do. You would change your name up and display your new name to your friends.
We had them because we used to do like report wars. Like, you could report people, and eventually they would just like get kicked off. So we had a bunch of names so we could do that, and we were nerds. So we'd be like, it'd be like Joe Perry, because like most of my names are about Joe Perry from Aerosmith. Be like Joe Perry decloaks on the port side, and starts anyway.
Wow, you are a nerd.
So it's all I would do on a Saturday night, hit the Denny's and then start reporting people. So, but yeah, dude, those are the days. That was kind of fun. Like,
yeah. Who would have thought we'd be on the internet all the time now?
Yeah, pretty much. Like now we're never off.
Yeah. Anybody who has a cell phone, you're constantly connected to the internet.
Exactly. That's, because they're watching you.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. I think
everybody knows where you are.
I think they are watching or listening, because
they're definitely listening.
Telling you with these ads, like it'll be stuff that like ads for stuff that shouldn't be there. Like I thought that. I never said it. I don't know.
Okay, now there's even weirder stuff that's happened. Okay, so I will search something on my phone. I won't talk about it. I will be searching it on my phone.
Right.
And then Tommy will get ads on her phone for the thing that I'm searching for.
That's how they get you.
I don't know if that's a thing like we're friends on Facebook or...
I don't know. I mean,
we're on the same cell phone plan?
Google tailors so much of like the internet around the individual. Like it would totally, because I've always heard like you'd be amazed what Google knows about you. I'm not, I've searched myself. I'm not that impressive. But like they do know a ton, like what you search, like what social media you go on. I mean, and frankly, like it's awesome because I use Google for the church website and stuff like that to like see where traffic's coming from. I mean, it's amazing. Like you can see what people type.
Well,
like that, not to scare everybody,
the thing about it is that's just what we can see.
Right. Like
imagine what Facebook knows. Because when that Cambridge Analytica thing came out, when they were like scamming people or whatever, I read a story that they were able to find 5,400 metrics. It's like 5,400 different things about an individual.
That's crazy.
Off their Facebook profile.
So it seems like realistic that they would be like, oh, this guy's married to her, and so we'll start putting ads on her,
to make him buy more stuff.
Right.
Which
Other things coming up.
I gotta say, it works.
Yeah.
I buy tons of things.
Free mansions.
Yeah.
All expense paid trips.
Yeah. Well, now you're gonna get timeshares.
Oh no. Why'd you have to say it? Now I will. You never get out of those meetings.
I just don't understand why anybody would fall for the timeshare. I just don't.
Well,
that seems like a terrible plan.
I've known folks that have, I don't remember if my brother was the one that like they went and did it. And they're like, we're not going to do anything, but like they get you. Like if you get into that meeting, like you're never getting out. I mean,
oh yeah, they have
we're going to have this fun trip after this, and it's like no. You're stuck here.
We'll give you an all expenses paid trip if you attend this 10-minute meeting that turns into all day. And then you have the closer that comes to you and tries to,
There was an old episode of South Park about that where they're like, oh, you can leave anytime. And so like, anytime they walk out of a room, it was like into another timeshare meeting.
Yeah.
So don't do timeshares, y'all. That's not a good
scam.
So.
In fact, one of the there's actually a documentary about one of the, I don't know if it's like about him specifically, but it's about his family. They built a replica of the Palace of Versailles in America. So I forget where they were building it, but they made so much money off of timeshares that they were able to build a palace. So
That's what they need to do at that creationist
that's
museum.
crazy.
Let people stay with a bunch of animals in that ark for 40 days, 40 nights, kind of do a simulation.
Be accurate.
Yeah, people love like the active vacations. So why not? You know what I wouldn't want to do, but I do kind of, they have those like, I think it's up north, it might be Alaska or Canada. They have those like ice hotels or whatever.
That'd be sweet.
It sounds miserable.
Although, but you don't like the cold, so.
I don't at all, but I've always wanted to see like the Aurora Borealis. And so they have like these like hotel rooms that are basically like dome things in the ground. So like the
igloos.
The top of your room is, it's, I think the only thing in it's like a bed and some other things like, but yeah, anyway, you can like lay and be warm and like check out the sky, which is kind of neat. I guess deer can like gallop up and stand on the dome and look at you or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I've just seen pictures.
You just need a heat rock.
Yeah, dude, that would be
They
great.
have human-sized heat rocks?
I'm sure that I could get one, or just like a big heat lamp. That'd be nice. Made me think of the heater at church that's at the front desk. That thing's awesome. Keeps you warm, even during the summer.
You just need a personal heater you can take around with you everywhere.
Yeah. Like I don't know, like if they could make a t-shirt that was like heated.
I think they do. Actually,
they have like jackets.
If I remember, they have like jackets that have heat. They have like heaters going through them. Because I remember finding one when I was working outside, and it's miserable. Working outside is miserable. And yeah, so I found this. I never bought one. I thought about it, but I think they're expensive.
It's probably dangerous. They do have those gloves though that you can like blow into, and they keep your hands warm.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I just invented those. Trademark. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
No, I think they're like they're these gloves that you can like blow basically hot air into, like your breath, I guess, and then it keeps your hands warm. Seems feasible. So I don't know how often you have to do that.
And I guess you don't have to brush your teeth, so your breath's hot.
Oh yeah, unless you release the blood smell, that'd be terrible.
Then your hands smell like halitosis.
Dude, side note, this has nothing to do with our show at all. Did you know that Edge is back in the WWE?
Yeah, he quit because of his neck.
He quit because he got his and then he got spinal surgery and like got his neck fused in like 3 spots.
Yeah,
and like you don't come like Stone Cold did that, and he never came back. But Edge was, I guess he got into a motorcycle accident filming a show. He was like, I feel fine. What? And he went, yeah, he's like, dude, I feel fine. And he's been acting and stuff. And he's like, I've been doing all these moves and fight scenes. And he was like, I feel great. Like, I don't feel like anything's wrong. So he went to his doctor and he's like, yeah, you can wrestle. So he just marched back in January. So I miss everything.
Yeah, I think Daniel Bryan, he had to leave because of concussions. But then he was cleared.
Yeah.
So I
don't know.
Do you just recover from concussions? I don't know how that works.
I don't know. They had like so many issues. I mean, look at who is it? Chris Benoit that like
yeah,
which was horrible, like murdered his family and stuff, and they looked at his brain and were like it had just been like over time.
It's like mush.
Like it was just it was he shouldn't have been operating at all. I mean, so you look at that and like in a lot of sports they had that, like NFL
football
helmets and stuff, and
the thing about it is even with the redesigned helmets, it's still not really safe.
Oh, dude, that's like a dangerous sport. I don't think I have the willpower to like run at a behemoth of a person, that's running at me.
Yeah, but you got protection, right? You got pads and a helmet.
No, I think I'm literally like, I am 36 years old, and I could promise I'd probably cry if I got hit. Fine.
Well, imagine they used to wear just leather. They just wore like leather buckets on their heads.
No protection at all. Yeah, no, the
Uh,
concussions, like those are crazy, and even like NASCAR had to change some stuff after Dale Earnhardt with the neck strap.
yeah.
So I don't know. Got to protect the brain.
Yes, yeah. CTE is no joke. I'm
Yeah,
glad I'm glad somebody finally spoke up about it and actually made something happen. Even if it's not solved yet,
yeah,
at least having the information out there.
yeah. There was some guy. Oh, was it that they actually was a wrestler that actually ended up like being a spokesman for WWE and like doing a lot of stuff on that front.
Yeah.
Um, which is obviously why people aren't like falling off of 50 pages anymore. So Mick Foley's my hero. Um,
Man, that is some crazy stuff.
yeah, dude, the wrestling and they used to like bleed all the time and stuff. They don't do that anymore.
I
From
mean, that
what
was like when ECW was out.
oh
They
yeah,
did
those guys were
crazy
crazy.
stuff.
Yeah, like barbed wire ropes and stuff.
You could pretty much guarantee that somebody's bleeding at least, you know, on every night that happens, every
Yeah,
match that they put on, somebody's gonna bleed.
mhm.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I think they had to stop. Like we watched, because I not that I've watched recently, but I just haven't seen it. Like the times that I do tune in randomly, like I never see anybody bleeding. So
Yeah, WWE doesn't really do it.
I think they got like a lot safer, and I don't know if that was in to like try to appeal to more kids or not, because but the
I
language is,
think so.
and so yeah,
Well, they went G for a while, where it was just they didn't do anything,
yeah,
and then they kind of came back a little bit. They kind of met in the middle of of like PG. I guess maybe they met at PG, so now they're PG instead of so they get a little bit rougher, but they're not.
yeah. They're not going to beat the '90s. That was like prime time for the WWE. That
Yeah,
was when
Sting.
all the great matches, and yeah, I can't believe Sting's still around.
Yeah, I think he got
He,
injured though. I
yeah,
think
I mean, he signed with WWE.
yeah, I think he came back and he was like signed with WWE for the first time ever.
Yeah,
And then the first I think the first pay-per-view he came back, he got injured like enough where he couldn't wrestle anymore.
yeah. I'm not really shocked. I mean, he had to have been super old at that point. Um,
I don't know. I don't think he's that old.
like Ric Flair was like what in
Oh,
his 60s when they finally got him to quit.
he probably would be wrestling now if somebody didn't force him to
Yeah,
stop.
I'm assuming that's how it went.
But
So,
he's one of the greatest that's ever been. I mean, as far as characters go.
oh yeah, no, he was like really fun to watch, but I just every time he took a fall, I was like, ooh, that's it.
Yeah. Well, any older guy that comes up that you like, he's visibly old. I mean,
Yeah,
not like somebody who's like 50 that still looks pretty good, but
yeah,
somebody who's visibly like some of those the Hall of Famers that they get to come in every now and then
yeah,
that that come in and they're like 80, like and
yeah.
then they get like body slammed. And you're like, oh no, you just need to stop.
I think Roddy Piper died. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that was sad. Yeah, and I don't know, but it's good that they're like, and a lot of sports are doing that, like getting folks off of steroids, watching their brains and stuff like that. Especially because like how many people dive like really early, and they totally shouldn't. That's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean from concussions too, because the thing is there it's still being studied because there's no
Yeah,
I don't think anybody knows yet how basically what it takes to get to a dangerous level of concussions.
mhm.
I mean, none is probably the best idea, but
I may find out. I don't
they're
know.
well, they're
Well,
more concerned about they're more concerned about like smaller hits or smaller movements of the brain
oh really?
because like for instance like if you take a soccer ball to the head or something, like
Mhm.
that's not a very hard hit, but enough of those over time.
I would think if your brain hits your skull at any point, that's probably
Yeah.
a problem. So
So that, but that's still being studied as far as
yeah,
I know.
I may be in more trouble than I think. Um,
Do it.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
I don't want to. Thank you. Yeah. Well. Well, on today's show, are we just started? Did we just start?